An empire that ruled from the Indus to the Aegean sailed to erase a city from history. Outnumbered, divided, and facing certain destruction, Athens stood on the edge of extinction. On a narrow plain beside the sea, one general made a decision that defied every rule of war. What followed would prove that courage, discipline, and strategy could challenge even the greatest power on earth. Miltiades, the Athenian general, who had once served under the very empire he now faced, understood that traditional warfare would mean certain destruction for his city, earning him the reputation as the strategist who broke the line. In September of 490 BCE, on the gravelly plains of the Bay of Marathon, the autonomy of the Greek city-states faced its most severe test. The Achaemenid Empire, the superpower of the age which stretched from the Indus Valley to the Aegean Sea, had arrived not just to conquer, but to punish. The conflict began long before the armies met on the beach. During the Aegean campaign and the fall of Eretria, King Darius I of the Achaemenid Empire had ordered a punitive expedition under the command of Admiral Datis and General Artaphernes. Their objective was clear: bring the city-states of Eretria and Athens to heel for their interference in the Ionian Revolt, where the imperial regional capital of Sardis had been burned. The Persian fleet, numbering hundreds of ships, swept through the Cyclades. They reached the city-state of Eretria on the island of Euboea first. Despite Eretria's strong walls, the city fell after a 6-day siege due to internal betrayal. The temples were burned and the population enslaved, sending a chilling message across the strait to Attica: resistance was futile. This phase of the campaign established the Achaemenid dominance over the Aegean Sea and secured a logistical supply line for the coming invasion of Attica. The Persian commanders then turned their eyes toward Athens, guided by the exiled Athenian tyrant Hippias, who hoped to be restored to power as an imperial vassal. At the standoff at the Bay of Marathon, Hippias advised the Persian commanders to land at the Bay of Marathon, roughly 26 miles from Athens. The location offered a flat plain, suitable for the empire's superior cavalry forces to maneuver. In response, the Athenian army, numbering approximately 10,000 hoplites, heavy infantry, marched out to block the exits from the plain. They were joined by a small but fiercely loyal contingent of 1,000 soldiers from the allied city of Plataea. For several days, a tense stalemate ensued. The Athenian command was divided. 10 generals strategoi led the army, one from each tribe, with the overall command rotating daily. Some argued for a retreat to defend the city walls. Others, led by Miltiades, argued for an offensive engagement. Miltiades knew that a siege would likely lead to factionalism and betrayal within Athens, just as it had in Eretria. He appealed to Callimachus, the war archon polemic, whose tie-breaking vote authorized the attack. The stalemate broke when Athenian scouts reportedly realized the dreaded Persian cavalry was temporarily absent from the line, possibly being reloaded onto ships to sail directly for undefended Athens. During the tactical engagement on the plain, Miltiades seized this fleeting tactical window. He deployed the Greek phalanx, a dense wall of bronze shields and spears, but with a crucial modification. To match the length of the Persian line and avoid being outflanked, he thinned his center ranks to a depth of only 4 men, while strengthening the wings, the flanks, to a depth of 8. Facing them was the Achaemenid infantry, protected by a wall of wicker shields, spara, and renowned for their archery. As the Athenians advanced, they did something unprecedented. Once they came within range of the Persian archers, about 200 meters, the heavy infantry broke into a run. This rapid advance minimized their exposure to the hail of arrows that usually decimated opposing armies. When the lines collided, the weight of the hoplite armor, bronze greaves, breastplates, and the heavy hoplon shield smashed into the lighter Persian armor. As Miltiades had predicted, the elite Persian forces in the center, largely ethnic Persians and Sakai, pushed the thin Athenian center back. However, on the wings, the heavy Athenian and Plataean infantry overwhelmed the lighter imperial levies. The victory was secured not by the center, but by the discipline of the wings. Instead of chasing the fleeing enemies on the flanks, the Athenian wings wheeled inward, closing like a pincer on the elite Persian center. Realizing they were being enveloped, the Achaemenid line broke. The chaotic retreat toward the ships was brutal. Many invaders were trapped in the Great Marsh or cut down on the beach, 7 Persian ships were captured, though the majority escaped. After the race to Phaleron, the battle was won, but the danger had not passed. Miltiades realized that the Persian fleet, now carrying the bulk of their army and cavalry, was sailing around Cape Sunion to attack the city of Athens directly, which was now undefended. In a feat of endurance that rivals the battle itself, the exhausted Athenian army, still carrying their heavy armor and weaponry, force-marched to the 26 miles back to Athens. They arrived at the Bay of Phaleron, just hours before the Persian fleet appeared on the horizon. Seeing the same soldiers who had just defeated them at Marathon, now lining the coast of Athens, Datis and Artaphernes realized they had lost the element of surprise. Unwilling to risk another landing against established heavy infantry, the Achaemenid fleet turned around and sailed back to Asia. The engagement resulted in the death of approximately 6,400 Achaemenid troops and 192 Athenians, including the war archon Callimachus. The victory preserved the political independence of the Greek city-states, proving that the heavy infantry phalanx could stand against the light infantry and archery of the East, a lesson that would shape Mediterranean warfare for centuries to come. The Battle of Marathon was more than a clash of armies. It was a moment where the fate of freedom balanced on human endurance and resolve. Against overwhelming odds, ordinary citizens became legends, breaking the myth of imperial invincibility. The echoes of their shields still remind us that history is shaped not by numbers alone, but by the will to stand firm. If you love this kind of story, hit subscribe button. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comment below.